most days we are super, super busy. We're just kind of getting by. We're learning how to cope with the day. And one of the biggest problems that I see is that deadlines consistently mount up again and again and again, because we haven't planned properly. So we're constantly like, I'm 2 days behind. I'm 10 days behind. I'm an hour behind. Like, we're always behind. We're always trying to play catch up. And another problem is that we don't have enough knowledge about productivity or time management. So just by thumbs up or in the comment section, let me know if in the last 6 months you've read any article or listened to a podcast or read a book about productivity or time management. So if you're on Zoom, let me know in the chat box. And if you're in the Facebook group, let me know in the Facebook group. If you, in the past 6 months, if you have taken the time to read or listen to anything on productivity. So people on Zoom, the chat box is on the bottom. No, but I do make a to-do list every day before I leave to work. I love you, Brenda. Vicky, no. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. So that's like another big piece is that we don't have enough knowledge or context about productivity, about time management. And that's one of the reasons why our deadlines are constantly mounting up and just, kind of driving us crazy. So here are some questions for you. And again, this is always an interactive mini training webinar. Everything that I do is always interactive. So I need to hear feedback from you guys before I move on. So my first question is, what do you struggle with right now when it comes to being productive? That's just the first question. Just let me know in the comments section, what is that thing that you're struggling with when it comes to just being more productive? So let me know in the comments section. When things happen that are unexpected, that has to take priority. Okay. Urgent but not important disruptions. Yes, we're going to be talking about that on the Eisenhower Matrix. Kamal. Karen, my office has a revolving door of people coming through. Yes, that could be a problem. And we're not going to talk about that now. That's like a totally different topic of how to have a revolving door but not get disrupted by it. So many little things. Everything only takes a few minutes, eats up my time. Yeah. The number one rule that I have is nothing takes 2 minutes. Nothing. So even if someone's like, oh, I just need 2 minutes of your time, nothing takes 2 minutes. So always just like remember that piece. Donna, I'm in a waiting period for relocating our current location. Our current center is full with the waiting list. I need direction for being productive while we're trying to get this done. You're saying while you're kind of bouncing from location to location, trying to know how to stay productive because of just all the disruptions that come in, or because of like the feeling of like you just don't have like a home because you're not settled. Disruptions even when my door is noted and locked. Yeah. So again, that's like the balance of putting on healthy boundaries, which is such an important piece. Okay. So finding the time for bigger projects. I feel like I have so many disruptions, not getting pulled into 100 directions, wearing too many hats, can't complete one task before moving on. There's not enough hours in my day. I'm delegating much better and time blocking, but the list is still massive and I can only do so much in one day. Yeah, so we are definitely going to be digging into all of that. The topic is time consuming. I feel like I should be working on other projects in the meantime. Yeah. So these are like so many different little nuggets of wisdom here. So like it's where do I focus my time? Where am I, like always the 80-20 rule. How do I make sure that I'm not wearing too many hats? So we're going to dig into some of that as well. And then just kind of by default answering the questions of like why you feel like you can't finish what's on your to-do list. Some people have answered like, I don't have enough time in my day. I'm wearing too many hats. Can't complete one task before moving on. So my other question to you would be, before we dig into some of the strategies, is what do you think you need in order to accomplish this? Like, what is that magical thing that you think that you need in order to have time to work on bigger projects, in order to finish your to-do list, in that one day, right? So it's being like super realistic about what you can actually accomplish in a day. So let's just see here. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think you need in order to accomplish this? So Michelle is here. Hey, Michelle. Good to see you. Okay, so Brenda says, I feel like I need enough staff so that I can focus on my job and my job alone. Okay. Let's see what some other people have to say here. Hi, Hillary. You need an assistant. Yes, you probably do. You probably need someone on your admin team. Sterny's here. Quiet. Just everyone shush. Love it. Wouldn't that be awesome? Okay, more support from your office people, so better admin team, a better time management system, more staff so I can have more time. More staff in what area, Rivka? So like more staff, like more teachers or more admin staff? Michelle, trying to stay focused when I'm pulled back into the classrooms. Always nice to see you. Yeah, Susan, total guilty of that, overachiever. I believe that I could do it all. Actually, total like side point, Nicole in the guest expert session today, in the director's inner circle, she spoke about how to, that whole self-awareness piece of like super capable people, overachievers. You should definitely check that out. Sharon, not always prioritizing correctly. I do the stuff that I like to do. All the other things fall behind. That's where the Eisenhower matrix is going to come in. All the time I shuffle when staff are phone in sick. Hi, Frummy. Not getting pulled in a million different directions. Staff in the classrooms. Teachers that have been out sick so much this winter and can't find coverage. Yeah, super hard. I feel like, again, like this winter has been like crazy and like in that way, like so many teachers have been out. But yeah, so a lot of people just want more people, better time management system, more support, all of that kind of stuff. Okay. Boomba. Let us find where my slides are. There they are. Okay. I lost myself. Here. Okay. So again, here are just like some other ideas of like, are you distracted by social media? Do you have too many people in your office? Do you have this overarching need to constantly help everyone? Thinking that you can't pee alone because the school will fall apart. So again, this is like, I bring up this example because I met with like a group of directors and we were just like chatting, hanging out, and we were talking about time management. We're talking about like being pulled in a lot of different directions. And there was one director who was there who was like, I'm always needed everywhere. I constantly need to be all over the place and I can't pee alone. Like people talk to me behind the bathroom door. And I was like, oh my God, that is crazy. Like if you can't pee in peace, like there's like a serious issue going on in your school, because this is not like a time management thing. This is not like a productivity thing. This is like a serious, like personal issue. It's not even a culture thing. It's like a personal issue that you can't feel like you can't pee in peace. So that's like the total opposite end of the spectrum. So really important, just like self-awareness check. If you're not there, you're doing really well. You're definitely on the road towards learning how to delegate and manage your time better. So that's just like one like extreme example. And the other thing is that you're anxious about everything. So a lot of times it's like analysis paralysis. Like we just feel like we have to overanalyze everything. We're like, everything has to be done perfect. And then we just freeze. And like one of my mentors, Todd Herman, always tells me, you have to take consistent imperfect action. I want it to be imperfect. I want it to be messy. I don't want it to be perfect. I want you to just take action. Always just show up, show up, show up, show up. Because eventually it's going to be amazing. The minute you try to feel like you have to be perfect right out of the gate is where your immediate downfall comes from. So just always make sure that you're taking consistent, imperfect action. Because again, if we try to make everything perfect, we're never going to show up. So even like, for example, right now, like looking at my slide deck, like, yeah, I could have made it look prettier. I could have had logos in the background. I could have like ran through it one more time to make sure like they're like all the fonts were perfect. Like obviously I could have made the slide deck look much prettier, but that's not the point of it. The point of it is the content and me getting up to speak. So the slides are not perfect. If I'm going to wait for every single thing to be perfect, I'll never ever teach you guys anything. I'll never show up because I'm always going to be scared that everything has to be perfect. So yeah, so that's just like, again, some other ideas about that. Okay. So the first thing you have to realize when it comes to the solution is that all of these are bad habits. Like the feeling of like, oh my gosh, I need, I need to be able to do everything, or I need more people, or like I'm constantly getting interrupted, or I'm wearing so many hats, or I can't delegate, or, I'm not prioritizing correctly, or whatever it is. All of those are just, they're bad habits. They're not ingrained in who you are. This is not, a life sentence. It's bad habits. And so like, they're really just not ingrained in your life. You can change them and you can learn how to be more productive. And just the fact that all of you guys are here tonight, we have over 40 people watching live, just from different avenues, from Zoom, from Facebook, just from the different angles. Just the fact that you're here, is just telling yourself that you believe that there are things that you can learn to become a more productive leader in your school. Okay. So give me a massive thumbs up or a yes if you are one of these statements. You don't know where to start when it comes to how to be more productive. You procrastinate or you self-sabotage. You don't remember what you're supposed to do. So someone already actually said that. Too much to do. You just start doing without thinking. You're like, okay, I can't even sit and think about everything that I have to do. I'm just going to go. Like, let me just start doing this. Let me just start doing that. Let me just go. You're always busy. You're always behind schedule. And you truly believe that you don't have enough time. You truly believe in your heart of hearts, there is not enough time in a day. So we have lots of people super active here on Zoom. Let me know in the Facebook group. Let me know in the Facebook group if you guys are resonating with this. Let me see here. Takes a minute to configure between Zoom and Facebook and awesome. Lots of love. Lots of love. All right. All right. Okay. Awesome. So let's move on. Let me go back here. Don't remember what to do. Get easily distracted. Yeah. And we're going to go into that. So why does this really impact your school? Get started, then get distracted, get disrupted. Yeah, because social media, pings on our phone, all of that kind of stuff gets us constantly distracted. The sound is cutting in and out. I'm not sure why. Keeps freezing. Huh. It could be your internet connection because I'm going pretty straight over here. Maybe check the Zoom link and log in from Zoom. Okay, so why does this impact your school? Okay, failing to be your most productive costs your school big time. Okay, because if you're not super productive, you're wasting a ton of time. And the thing that you really have to keep in mind is that as a director, it doesn't matter how much you actually get paid, what your salary is or what you get paid per hour, whatever it is, you are worth a lot more than you think you are. And if you're not being productive and you're finagling on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, you are like flushing money down the toilet constantly. But if you build a system that you can plug and play and to avoid that kind of decision fatigue, and then you can also learn how and where you can truly delegate, right? So again, a lot of people always ask me like, how do you get so much done? I don't understand how you do it. You have 4 kids, how you do this, how you do that. Again, like I always tell everyone, like I don't have any special secrets. I'm super focused when I need to be focused. I delegate every single possible thing that I could delegate. I only keep on my plate what I absolutely can do and what no one else can do. Every single thing that I do, nobody else can do. Like seriously, nobody else. Any single thing that somebody else can do, somebody else does. I don't do anything that somebody else can do for me. And that's how I'm able to get so much done, because I don't put these little nitty-gritty things on my plate. So that's like a total side thing. Again, just answering that question, because I know a lot of people are just always asking me that question. Okay, so what's step one? Okay, step one in starting to just decompress this, just pull this apart, unpack every single piece. Step one is just really writing every single thing down. And I know it sounds really obvious, but it's not. Writing down your to-do list the night before the next day is a game changer for making better decisions. Like, game changer. You write it out the night before what you're actually going to be doing. But not just writing out this whole massive to-do list, writing out, this is what I'm doing from 9 to 10. This is what I'm doing from 10 to 11. This is what I'm doing from 11 to 12. This is what I'm doing from 12 to 1. Like, writing out what your hours are going to look like, what those blocks of time are going to actually look like. Because once you get better at this, you start doing this a week in advance. You could start planning out your week a week in advance, then a month in advance, then 90 days in advance, then a whole year in advance. You can map out what your goals and your projects are going to be, because you are so aware, self-aware of how much time it actually takes you to do everything, right? So yeah, Fermi just said, problem is I fall into deciding what is a priority. I'm going to help you decide that using the Eisenhower matrix, with the priority matrix. Because if everything is urgent and everything is a priority, then that's how nothing gets done, right? So for example, I'll give you like one personal example and just go off tangent here for a second. So a lot of times people are like, yeah, I also have cleaning help in the house, but like still, even with cleaning help, like the house is still my responsibility. And when I tell this to people, it's like, the house is not my responsibility. I don't take care of my house. I have a cleaning lady 5 days a week, 5 hours a day. I don't take care of my house. I don't do laundry. I don't do dishes. I don't wash the floor. I don't sweep the floor. I don't put things away. I don't stock things in the thing. She sends me a list. My husband does the shopping. I don't take care of the house. It's completely outsourced to other people who take care of the house. I wake up in the morning, there's clean clothes, everything's folded, everything's fresh, everything's ready to go. I just don't take care of the house, because I can't. I need to take care of my kids. I need to take care of my business. I need to take care of my clients. I cannot take care of folding 50 pairs of underwear and put them away. I just can't do that. That's why somebody else does that for me. So another thing that you have to realize is that, have you delegated it all the way, right? So like a lot of people delegate house help and they have cleaning help to do things, but it's still on their head. It's still their responsibility. So delegating is that you're not thinking about it anymore. It's like, kaboom, this is yours, your responsibility. Fold and clean and do the laundry however you like. It's not mine. So I tried this and even added it to my Google Calendar, but the reality of the day hit me. Yeah, because Hillary, it's a skill. So you can try it and you add it to your Google Calendar, and now you have to work through that. It's not going to happen overnight. You're going to, like, the social media and the interruption demons are going to constantly haunt you to try to steal you away for a second. It's a habit. You have to constantly fight back at it. And then, yeah, for me, delegating all the way is so hard, because we want things done our way, because we're perfectionists. We want things done a certain way. So I've long gone let go of, like, clothes need to be folded a certain way or ironed a certain way or cleaned a certain way. It's like, I don't care. It's clean. It's nice. It's neat. There's no dust. My house smells good. It looks fresh. I'm not embarrassed to invite people over. We're good. Next. Like, I don't need anything else. Okay. Now let's step away from cleaning houses. Now let's go to the Eisenhower matrix. Okay. This is the Eisenhower matrix, and I use this all the time to plan and decide how I'm going to do my projects. Now it's already like in my head. I don't even need to sit down and plot it, because I have used this so much. But let me show you how this actually works. Okay. Okay. So it's a classic XY graph. We have not urgent and important. We have urgent and not important. Okay. So let's say we have over here in the category urgent and important. Okay. It's super urgent and it's super important. Do it now. You do it right now if it's super urgent and it's super important right now. And I'm going to explain what the differences are. Then in the other side of the quadrant, we have important, but it's not urgent. Okay. Email is a perfect example of this. it's important. A lot of emails are super important. Emails that you get from parents, emails that you get from prospective parents, emails that you get from teachers or wherever. Emails are important. They're not urgent. You do not need to respond to an email the second it hits your inbox. Absolutely not. That is a classic example of important, not urgent. Do it later. Okay? Then we have urgent, but not important. Okay? So it's urgent. It's something that needs to happen, but it's not so important. Delegate it. Okay? Urgent. Laundry needs to be done in my house. Urgent. Dishes need to be done, but it's not so important. Delegate it. It's not so important that I'm the person that has to do. Great. Somebody else take care of the dishes. And the last thing is it's not urgent and it's not important. Delete it. Just get it out of your life. Delete. Goodbye. Next. Garbage. Like, get it out of your life. Okay? So now let's talk about how to break that down. Okay? Because this could be a little bit complicated. So let me give you some examples. Okay? The difference between urgent and important. Urgent, okay, has a deadline that is typically imposed by somebody else. Reply to an email from a parent. It's urgent to other people. It's not urgent to you. Email is always urgent to the person that sent the email. It's not urgent to you. Urgent is always important. I need to call that parent back. No, it's urgent to the parent. It's not urgent for you to call them that second. It can wait 20 minutes or a half hour if you're in the middle of a project. It's taking that breath and saying the parent is not going to call, the government and close your school down if you didn't call back in 30 minutes. You're not like, it's going to be fine. You're not going to be shut down. So that's like such an important piece to differentiate between the urgent. Okay. What's important? They don't have a deadline, but they matter to you. Important things are like your exercise goals, family time, eating healthy. These are all important things. Okay. But they don't have deadlines. Okay. Family time doesn't have a deadline. Family time is it's always important to have family time. Okay. Tasks that are not urgent or important shouldn't be on your to-do list. So when you sit down, right, when I spoke about step 1, which is all the way back over here, where was I? Step 1, which is write it down. When you write down your to-do list and then you go through the Eisenhower matrix and you plot it in the different categories, when you come to a task that's not urgent or important, it shouldn't be on your to-do list. It shouldn't even be there. It's not something that even comes into your plan book or into your calendar. Because it's just, it has no place in what you're doing. So before I continue to move on to some other strategies and just fleshing this out a little bit more, let me hear from you guys. Any questions, or if there's clarity, if you guys are following along, tell me what's going on. Okay. So Rivka says, then where should those tasks go and when should it be done? Okay. Give me an example of what you're talking about, of like what task, where should it go, when should it be done? Because I want to help you like work through the whole thing. Anyone on Zoom, any questions before we continue? I just want to pause for a minute and take questions, or if there's clarity issues. Yeah, I'm going to give you guys a download of the matrix, Michelle. Don't worry. Where do you recommend keeping the to-do list? Okay, great question. So I don't have to-do lists. They're right away in my calendar. They right away get plugged into a calendar. They don't like get plotted down as a to-do list. It's right away in my calendar. Like I'm responding to all these emails. I'm doing this. So I don't have to-do lists anymore. They're right away plotted in my calendar. If I do have like a long length of like things that I need to do in this time block, which means like, this is the time block that I'm allotting to, let's say I like when I work for the Inner Circle, right? So like my directors in the Inner Circle, I have certain time blocks where I go in and I take care of just responding to messages and I just take care of them. So sometimes I'll have a whole list of things that I want to do. Like I need to make sure that I respond to this person's post and I remember this person wrote something, so I want to respond to them. So I'll have like that list of like, let me go through this while I'm in my time block. I'm taking care of all my directors in the Inner Circle. So that I'll have like a little list next to that time block. These are all the things that I'm doing during this 1 hour time frame. I hope that makes sense, Susan. Okay, so Rivka says, I'm not even sure because many things on my to-do list aren't urgent, but I still need. So give me an example. Like, what is something that is not urgent, but you need it? Try to think of like an example, or look at your to-do list of like some things that you've had. I'm hiring someone this week to clean my house. Great idea. I do not have to do it. No, you don't. I am like the hugest advocate of cleaning up. I grew up with cleaning help. So like, to me, cleaning help is like air and water. Like, I'd rather not eat for a week and have a cleaning lady. So yeah. So again, like, it's also like just priorities as far as that goes. Okay. So Jennifer says, whenever I have enough people set into the position, I'm able to delegate to them. Right now I have one staff off. Yeah. So like staffing issues become, a problem, need more people. So, and can you actually hire more people to have extra people just in case? Do I have things on my wish list? For me, that's a great question. I actually am not talking about this now, but I am going to answer it because you had a great question, because you brought it up. There's something called a pile-up zone. So I actually I have a Google Calendar, but I still have like classic, just pen and paper calendar like this, like a big book, that sits on my desk. And on there, I actually have something called my pile-up zone. And those are like all my great ideas that come up. So like, for example, this idea to do the mini training on how to run your to-do list, I came up with this like 5 weeks ago. I was like, I really want to do a mini training to-do list. But there was a lot of other important things that I had to take care of at that time. So I put it on my pile-up zone and said, I'm going to revisit this in a couple of weeks when I have the mental brain space and emotional capacity to actually do this training. So I had this idea a long time ago, but I didn't execute on it until now. So it's called a pile-up zone. Example, I need safety pins. I see that on my to-do list. Okay. I love it, Rivka. So that's like errands, right? So like running to the store and like doing errands and stuff like that, right? So like, for example, can you have a time block on your calendar once a week that you run errands? So like, if you need more toilet paper and like, you're at it, like, you didn't do a big shopping spree, you need extra toilet paper or safety pins. Or I needed like, I don't remember, more toothpaste or something like that. Like, can you like do that kind of like errand kind of thing? Again, it shouldn't be on your actual to-do list. Like the to-do list needs to kind of be like separated. Like there's like that work to-do list of school, of like your important projects, your tasks, like your goals, what you're focusing on. And then there's like these other little minuscule things that there needs to be a time block for, but they shouldn't be taking up your brain space. As far as that goes. Yeah, cleaning help is key. It's huge, especially if you have a family, you have kids. It's massive. Exactly. So for me, you can either have that on a piece of paper. You can have a pile-up zone, or if you're a computer person, put it in a Google Drive. Makes sense. So you leave for a time when So I have times on my calendar that I go back and it's called pile-up zone time. Like go in and check so I'm a super creative person. I have tons and tons and tons of ideas. I'm constantly thinking of new ideas. I can't execute on them or I will literally go insane. So I'm always putting my great ideas in a corner and revisiting them every once in a while. On family day, yes. You have to be very disciplined to do this. Yes, truly blessed, you have to be disciplined. But here's the thing. Just because you're not a disciplined person right now, it doesn't mean that you can't be, okay? It's a skill. I wasn't always like this, okay? It takes time to be more disciplined. Because you have to run the cycle even when you don't feel like it, right? So I'll give you even like an example. Like I have a discipline that I write every single day for 15 minutes. Every single morning, I don't always feel like writing. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I still do it. That's the biggest thing about becoming more of a disciplined person is that even when you don't want to do it, because that's going to give you the discipline to continue organizing with that. I'm super organized, but this just gave me a big aha moment. Good for me. I'm so happy to hear that. I love helping people. I need a personal cleaning person. I do most of my shopping online, and so that helps. Yeah. I feel like you can never have enough cleaning help. I have 5 days a week for 5 hours and I still feel like she could be here more. Like it's endless. We're 6 people, we're 4 kids. Like it's endless. There's an endless amount of work to do. All right, so let's move on. I want to get into some more strategies for you guys. Okay, so we're looking at the Eisenhower matrix. We want to look at your to-do list and give a rating next to each task, okay? 1 being the least, 5 being the highest for urgent and important. So don't do this now because I want you to like focus on the content. But tonight or tomorrow, when you look at your to-do list, give it a rating. Like, how important is this? So for example, let's say you have work through licensing papers, right? Is that a 1? Like, you know, do you have your licensing people coming in 6 months from now? And right now it's not urgent. It could be done in 2 weeks from now. There's other things that are more urgent. Great, give it a 1. Or is it a 5? They're coming on Friday and you still don't have everything in place. Then that's a 5. Then that takes precedence. So again, so like give that a rating. Again, I want you to realize also these are new skills. And so a lot of times people are like, oh, well, I'm just not disciplined, or I'm ADHD, or I'm all over the place. You don't have to be like that. Like, learn how to trust the system when it comes to that. So someone asked here on Zoom, do you have a way to manage your pileup zone? Mine is 3 notebooks deep. Okay. I don't know your name because you have like a whole bunch of little things, but this is such a great question. So let me just repeat it. Someone just asked a question. Do I have a way that I manage my pileup zone? Mine is 3 notebooks deep. Yes, I do have a way that I manage it. Let me just quickly tell you guys, okay? So on my pileup zone, I have that in my notebook right over here, where I get that dash of creativity, I just like jot it down, right? Now, at the end of every week, I do something called my Focus Friday, my review. That's when I review my week, like, what were my wins this week? What did I actually finish accomplishing? Like, what am I still need to focus on? Like, what's going on? And then I go through all the pages of that week, which is like 5 days. I have 5 work days. And I go through my little pile-up zone areas on the bottom. Like, what were my bursts of creativity this week? Okay. What were some of the ideas that I have? In my Google Drive, I have lots of different note things. So I'll have things like, this was a burst of creativity for the inner circle. Like, this was a great idea that I had to do for directors in the inner circle. This training on mini training, I was like, great, this is a great thing that I want to do for the directors in the lounge. Yesterday, I had this awesome idea to do for our live event that's coming up in June. I thought of this really great idea to do at lunch. So I put that into my live event section. Like, these are all my ideas for my live event. So again, the way that I think would help you categorize it is that in a Google folder, create categories of the different areas that you're typically thinking of ideas. So for example, if you have like ideas for your teachers or for your parents or for curriculum ideas or for, you know, parent initiatives, or if you run multiple things like ideas for your family or ideas for your, you know, your Hebrew school center or your preschool or the, you know, whatever it is, like, what are those categories? So that when you take the time to go through, you're like, oh my God, yeah, I thought of that really great idea to do for that parent night. Oh, definitely. I definitely want to do that. So it's always remembering to go back to that like inspiration box. So really great question. Thanks for asking that. Yeah, I'm totally like time blocked out. Like, I'm like obsessed with calendar time blocking. Okay. Let me move on. I want to make sure that we keep this to an hour and that everyone gets stuff that they could do. Okay. Step 2. Open up your calendar, put a time and a day when you're going to be doing this task. So again, my directors in the inner circle should be proficient at this because I'm obsessed with this and I talk about this all the time. Time blocking, okay? If you don't have a time for it, then it's not important. Like, period. If you don't have a specific time that you're going to do this project, it's not important enough. Delegate it or delete it. Boom, get it out of your life, okay? It's not important. It's not, re-rank it on the matrix, okay? So let me just give you an example. Tomorrow, the 21st, this is my first 2 hours of the morning. Okay. So I have 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm doing my daily writing. And 9:15, this is the wrong, this is not broken down into the 15-minute time block, but at 9:15 is when I'm meeting with Yolanda, who is my assistant. She lives in Italy. And then we meet every single Wednesday at 9:15. So we're going to be talking at 9:15. And then at 10 o'clock, I just heard there's going to be a huge snowstorm tomorrow in New York, but we officially had planned that we were going to go out for breakfast. My husband and I were going to go out for breakfast together. So we had scheduled at 10 o'clock in the morning. I put this on the calendar probably 3 months ago. when I heard that that was his first day off for the Passover holiday. We already put that on the calendar like forever ago. We're probably gonna have to reschedule it because there's a snow day and I have all my kids home tomorrow. But again, like we're gonna reschedule it. I'm gonna put it on for Thursday now. But this is my time block, okay? If it's not in the calendar, it's not going to happen. So I know sometimes, like, I was showing this to someone and she's like, I can't believe you put in your calendar to have breakfast with your husband. Like, I only put like work stuff. Like, you'll always like, no. If it's not in the calendar, it's not going to happen. Why is it more important for me to put in the calendar to write and to meet with my team member? It's got to be in your calendar. Okay, let me take a break here and get to some of the questions. So Gracila, I think that's what your name is. I hope I'm not mispronouncing it. I buy everything on Amazon. Saves me a lot of time going around after school. Yes. Donna, I couldn't see your notebook. Was it a yearly calendar or another type of notebook that you were showing us? Oh, Donna, this is actually Todd's 90-day planner. So it's a planner. It's this big. I get a new one for every 90 days. So I have like 6 of them now. And it's every day is 2 papers. And they're broken down into time blocks. Hope that was helpful. Cool. Thanks. Awesome. Okay. Super. All right. Okay. How do you decide if it's urgent? Okay. So the first thing you want to ask yourself is, why is this urgent? Do I really need to do this? Okay. Can it be delegated? Right. And again, I cannot stress this enough that this is a skill. So now, like just a few hours ago, this happened to me. Someone called me up and she was like, hey, I have this really great idea for you. So I actually had 5 minutes before I had to jump on this call, and she's a really great friend. I was like, great, give me a call. Let's hop on a call quickly. So on the phone, she tells me, she's like, oh, I heard of this really great speaking opportunity. Are you interested in speaking there? And I already know about this. I already know this like speaking place, and I know like everything that's about it. And I was able to quickly prioritize it on my matrix. Okay. Number 1, it's urgent for them. They need lots of speakers. Category number 2, they don't pay their speakers. Okay. Category number 3, the quality of people that come there are really low quality prospects. Typically, I'm not going to meet anyone there that's really going to want to be part of my role. There is really a high level owner or director. They're typically it's not high quality people. So I was able to instantly make a decision. Sorry, it's not for me. Thank you so much for thinking about me. Really appreciate it. Right. In less than 2 minutes, I was able immediately to delete it from my to-do list. Like, it didn't even enter my page. Think about if I should do this speaking gig. It's boom. I know exactly that this was not going to be worth my time. Now, again, that takes a lot of time. I didn't always used to be like that. It's over time, you're able to instantly make a decision on like, is this worth my time? Is this important? Is this where I should be putting my energy right now? So just super easy to make, just makes it a lot easier to make those decisions. Okay. So here are the 5 ingredients for an effective system. Okay. When you're creating a system for productivity, for time management, there are 5 ingredients that I'm not going into all of them today. I just want to let you know what they are. Okay. Number 1 is capturing the data, capturing what it is that you actually have to do, like your to-do list. Number 2 is filtering through it. Number 3 is prioritizing it, the focus of it, and the energy. Okay. Those are the 5 pieces, the 5 ingredients, of an effective system. Today, we're going to talk about the filter part. Okay. Because that, I think, is just one of the most important things about running your to-do list. Okay. When a task comes to you, this is like a solid action step that you guys can start doing tomorrow. Okay. When a task comes to you or a new demand, follow the 3 Ds. Number 1, either you disregard it, you delegate it, or you do it. One of the 3. Okay. So when someone comes to you and says, like, for example, like with that thing, do you want to speak at the speaking gig? I quickly made a decision, boom, disregarded it. It's out. I'm not doing it. Okay. So think about what are some of those demands and those tasks that are coming up on your to-do list, and see how you could run through the filtering part of it. Can I disregard this? Can I delegate it? Or can I do it? So let me know in the comment section if you think that that is a fairly simple action step that you could try out tomorrow. Let me know in the comments. Awesome. Brenda. What if a decision isn't made that quickly? Yeah, of course. Not every decision's made that fast, right? So like I get a lot of things that are put at me. Like I'll give you another example, right? My husband and I want to buy a couch. Okay. That's not a 3-second decision, right? It's a big purchase. So we did, stage one today. I went to the place, we got the dimensions. I looked at some of the options. I brought back the pictures. My husband and I are going to have a conversation about it. And, we're going to, take it on to figuring out what we're going to do. Then I'll come back to the store. Like there's a number of phases to it, right? So yeah, not every decision is made that instantly. Some of it needs to take time. The problem is if you procrastinate and let it marinate for so long. It's like, yes, we're moving ahead with this. No, it's not for us. Let's look at other options. Like it's moving along that process. So not every decision is so instant, for sure not. So your question is, if a decision isn't made that quickly, where does it go on the to-do list? Give me an example of what you're asking, because it's very nuanced. So I'd love for you to give me an example of what you're thinking about. I'd love for you to give me an example so I can help you walk you through that. Naomi says, yes, but I do encounter many decisions that require time and contemplation. Yes, a lot of decisions require time. The question is, how much time are you giving it, right? So like a lot of times I know also like, I need to decide if I'm going to make an investment in this. I need to decide if I'm going to do this, right? So I'll give myself like a personal deadline. I say by Friday, I have to decide if I'm moving ahead with this, because anytime after Friday, I'm just going to be marrying on it for longer and driving myself crazy. After Friday is not going to give me any more clarity or any more data or any more information that I need to make this decision better. So the question you have to ask yourself, Naomi, really is, why is this taking you more time? Do you need more data to make a better decision? Okay. Do you need a little bit more nights of sleep to let it sit in your head? So how many more nights are you going to actually give yourself to let it sit in your head and drive you even kookier? And if you need more data, then who can give you that data? And what is the deadline of making that decision? Like you got to give yourself that point, that fence of like, I have to decide by Friday next. Like it's part of being in the position of a leader. You can't just constantly like, indecision could drive your people insane. The worst is having, like, I pretty much answered your question. Awesome. Okay, great. So happy to hear that. Okay. Awesome. All right, let me go back to my slide deck. Okay. So putting the system into action. All right. So step one, we spoke about gather all the tasks that you need to do tomorrow and write it down on paper. Okay. So that's going to be your first thing when you get off the call today. You're going to sit down and you're going to write all your to-do lists, all your stuff that you have to do on paper. Step number two, you're going to rank them on the Eisenhower matrix. Hey, Lori. Yeah, it's so good to see you. Okay. Step two, you're going to rank them on the Eisenhower matrix. Step three, you're going to place a tentative, again, if you're brand new at this, you're going to place tentative time slots next to each task or project of when it's going to be done tomorrow, okay? So for example, yes, I had my whole morning planned out tomorrow. However, there's a snowstorm in New York. School's closed. I got my kids home tomorrow. My day is going to look very different tomorrow morning. So after I get off this call, my husband and I are going to sit down and we're going to reevaluate our plan for the day. So again, create like that tentative time slot of when every task and project is going to be done. Step four, and this is where everyone forgets, at the end of the day, look at your list and see what got done and then repeat this process the next day. You have to take the time to do reflection and say, hey, I allotted 2 hours to do this project, but it actually took me 5. Interesting. It takes me 5 hours to do this project. Like, for example, editing newsletters. You might think like, it only takes me an hour to edit newsletters. But if you actually time yourself, it actually took you 5 hours broken up into a million pieces with all the 70 interruptions that came up. So it doesn't take an hour. It takes 5 hours. Well, if I didn't get an interruptions, could it take an hour? Like, is there a better way that I can set up my day so that I don't get interruptions, so that it could only take an hour to check email, to edit newsletters? All right. So making it practical. Okay. When you know how to be the master of your time and you understand where your time goes, okay, and how you spend it, who is asking you the most questions, then you're able to track and document these things so you could run more efficiently and you gain more time then you know what to do with. Okay. So when you understand this, you understand where your time is going, who's asking you questions, like where is my time actually going as a leader? You all of a sudden get a ton more time. You're like, hey, I have more time on my hands right now. So it's just like being aware of that piece so that you're not just constantly bogged down with everything else. Okay. Whoopsie. Okay. Oh gosh. I got lost here. Let me check here in the comment section quickly before I move on. Okay. I think I've already got a first step. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So let me go back to my thing here. All right. So practical implementation. Okay. We covered a lot today. There's a lot you can take and run with. Okay. So again, creating systems and habits needs careful attention to detail. Like that's a super, super important piece to remember, is that this is not something that it's like, oh, only if you're super disciplined or only if you're super type A personality kind of thing can you do this. No, everyone can do this. It's the discipline that it takes to actually execute on it that's super, super important. Okay. So we're going to be digging to even more of this content and even more how to make this practical at the EC Leadership Live event. These are just some of the things that we're going to be talking about. What is the theme of your monthly staff meetings? Okay, we're going to talk about how to structure your calendar so that you're consistently motivating your staff, not just when it's like, oh, morale is really low, what should I do? We're going to structure it so that you're constantly motivating your staff. We're going to talk about how to create standards in your school for everything so that you really understand how to create accountability with your team. I'm going to talk about the best ways to introduce new programs to staff to get their buy-in. We're going to be talking about how to unleash the greatness of your team, time management tips and strategies. We're going to be discussing scripts for difficult parent conversations. We're going to be talking about systems that you need to create consistent follow-up. And we're going to be talking about what your focus should be every single month of the school year. If there's one thing that I saw constantly going on over here is that everyone wants to know what their focus should actually be. So Anna just asked a question. My problem isn't the staff, it's the actual owner. He calls 10 times a day wanting to know what's going on and what's new. Okay, someone that calls 10 times a day and wants to know what's going on, first of all, they're bored. They need a different job. They need a hobby. The other thing is that you need to tell them that calling 10 times a day disrupts my productivity, which takes away from time, which means that I'm not working on the best possible way to build the business and to build the center. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do 2 check-ins a day. If he's calling 10 times, maybe dial it, tell him we'll do 3 check-ins a day. Eventually you want to get to 1 a day. But let's say start with 3 check-ins a day. We'll do one at 10 o'clock. We'll do one at 2 o'clock. We'll do one at 6 o'clock. And that's when you can call me and I'll make sure to be able to update you on what's going on. But calling me 10 times a day disrupts my flow and I can't meet with teachers. I can't get any productive work done because I'm constantly being disrupted. I need to know that we're only going to check in 3 times a day. So again, pull it back on him and let him know why it's sucking money out of the business by him calling you 10 times a day. I promise he'll stop calling. Okay. So here's some of the speakers at our live event. Is Lolly Daskell, who's the founder of Lead From Within, the author of The Leadership Gap. She's going to be talking about the 7 archetypes of great leadership and how to unleash your greatness. So I'm really excited about what she's going to be talking about because she has prepared just one of the, like, first of all, she's just like an incredible speaker. But more than anything, she has prepared just an awesome presentation for all of you. So I'm really excited about what she's going to be sharing. Dr. Diaz is going to be scripting through challenging parent conversations. So how to talk to the hostile, emotionally in denial, emotionally needy, abrasive, all of those kinds of parents, how to script through those conversations. Rivka Caroline is coming all the way from Florida, and she is going to be talking, she's the author of Frazzle to Focus. She's going to be talking about how to create systems for optimized productivity in your school. So she's going to be giving you even more strategies on what I was sharing with you. She's going to be giving a lot of the plug and play systems that you need to create more productivity with your admin team and with yourself. So those are our 3 featured speakers. what you actually get for joining the live event. And I put in the chat box the link to see all the details of the live event. So we're going to have 2 days of content, training, and guest speakers to map out your year. Before the live event, you're going to be filling out an intake questionnaire so I can match you up with similar schools to help you with your implementation strategy. We're going to be having a pre-call 2 weeks before the event so I can help you prep and get the most out of the event. We're going to have 2 follow-up support calls after the event. So typically, after you go to an event, you get really inspired, and then you come home and your brain is like on overdrive, and you're like, oh my God, how am I going to implement all this stuff? And then life happens, and you just never end up implementing it. Or if you do, you implement like 1 or 2 things. We are not going to let that happen. Anyone that's coming, we're going to have 2 follow-up sessions. So one is going to be a month after the event, and the other one is going to be a month after the school year starts to really make sure that you implement it. Like, you're going to get results. You're going to get my signature workbook with all the content strategies and your calendar. We're also going to have catered food, which is also just super awesome. And you're going to get access to the Vault, which is going to have the worksheets, PDFs, the guides, and all specific activities and tasks to consistently help you get results in your school. And our bonus for those that register in the next 2 weeks before the end of March are also going to receive lifetime access to the recordings of the entire event. So we're having a video crew come in who's going to be recording the entire event, and then we're going to be breaking it down into a resource lab. So you're going to be able to have access to the recordings of the entire event as a bonus for those that register for the conference beforehand. So the way that the conference works is that we're only letting 50 people join us at the event. It's just for 50 directors because we're keeping it super, super small and intimate, because I want to make sure that everyone can really, really get results in their school. So it's by application only. So when you click on the link, you'll see more information. And then at the bottom, there's an application that you can fill out and submit so that I can follow up with you for more details. So let's just quickly summarize over here what we spoke about today. And then I'm going to sign out. All right. So we spoke about we diagnosed our productivity problem. We spoke about how to assess your new to-do list using the Eisenhower matrix. We spoke about the series of steps that you need to take to achieve your goals, how to put the system into action, and how to make it practical in your school with your action steps. So as you sign out right now, let me know in the comments section, what is your specific aha moment and action step that you are going to be doing in your school. So let me know in the comments, whether you're in Zoom or whether you are in Zoom or in Facebook. Let us know in the comments section what your aha moment is and what your action step is. So we'll give just a couple minutes for that. And I'm also leaving a couple minutes now for any questions. I know that you guys asked lots of questions as we were going through, but let me know if you guys have any other questions. So you guys are still on. As you're checking out, let me know what your aha moment and what your action step is. Hanging on to all the things that aren't important, I'm giving them up. Awesome. Love it. Love it. All right. Let's see here who commented here. You are so welcome. Who is this? J.M. Stark from the desktop. Let me know what your first name is, just because I think it's like a surname or something. I'd love to know. Cindy, hi, how are you? Awesome. So glad you found it valuable. Thank you. Brenda, actions that start to prioritize your list. Awesome. Aha moment, make the pile-up zone. Great, great, awesome. Love it. Don't do anything someone else can do for you. Lori, yes, 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 yes. Love it. Love it. Okay, going to review my tasks, my pile-up zone, book every Friday to see what's really important, what can be deleted. This is amazing. I love this. Love your action steps. Sit down, create my tomorrow's to-do list, and do the matrix filtering. Awesome, Chaimushka. Thanks so much for sharing that. Lori, my action item, my notebook for my pileup zone. Yes. Oh, this is so great. This is so exciting. The matrix will help me focus. Awesome. All right, everyone, I am going to check out for now. I got to go to my baby. This was awesome. Thank you all for joining. Again, check out our live event, the 2-day live event. We're going to map out our entire year in 2 days. So check out the page for more details. And if you're interested, fill out an application so that we can follow up with you guys. Looking forward to continuing to see you guys in the Facebook group. Oh, we got a couple more aha moments here. Aha moment, there's definitely more I can delegate, not to feel guilty. Need to change my house cleaner from 1 time a week to 5 times a week. I need to use my Google Calendar and my docs more. Time blocking is not a new concept to me, but one that I haven't tried. I think it's when I need to stop spinning my wheels and get focused. Yeah, Donna, we're actually going to be in the pre-call of the live event. We're going to be digging into how to make that really practical. So you start having practice with that before the live event. So that when I start talking, you've already had exposure to that and know what I'm talking about. So you'll understand how to plot and really schedule your year so much better. Aha moment is that I can do this even though I may not be disciplined. Yes. Oh my gosh. I love this. I just have to make this a habit, starting to prioritize my to-do list. I love that. I love that you realize that even though you're not so disciplined, you still could actually do this. Incredible. All right. I could be on here forever. So I'm just going to sign out and I'll see everyone's questions and comments later. Ciao for now, everyone. All the best. Good night. Take care. Bye.